Hey carnivore fans, it's Holly, and I'm here to talk about my first 10 days on the carnivore diet. How did it go? What did I eat? How did I feel? And did I get the results that I'm looking for, or is it just too soon to tell? Let me just talk briefly about why I decided to do the carnivore diet. What's my story here? Basically, I've been struggling a long time with reactive hypoglycemia and something else, which is very hard to define. And it's, you know what? It's extreme hunger attacks. And it's hard to know where it starts and where it ends. Is it the reactive hypoglycemia that's turning into this hunger attack, or is this a separate phenomenon? My hormones are obviously messed up. My blood sugars are not actually dropping. With reactive hypoglycemia, if you don't know what that is, it's when you eat sugar, carbs, refined processed foods, and or even healthy foods like oatmeal, and then you feel full, and then 2 hours later your blood sugar tanks, which a lot of people experience that. Anyone eating donuts for breakfast, cereal and milk for breakfast with a banana, that is, or maybe orange juice, that's carbs, carbs, carbs. And yeah, you're gonna tank in about 2 hours. But that's kid stuff. I haven't been doing that for a long time, 20, 30 years, like since I've ever done like that. So this other phenomenon, which I looked it up on the internet, and the best we can come up with, that I can come up with, is polyphagia, which means it's an extreme hunger attack. And there are different causes for this, and it's not a diagnosis. It's a symptom that, it could come from something serious like a pancreatic tumor. There's a lot of reasons. But in my case, I really believe that it's from undernutrition. It's from a history of dieting. Possibly it's related to this reactive hypoglycemia. I don't really know. I feel like it's a different phenomenon because my blood sugars don't drop. I've tested them. And it's more like it's faulty hunger hormones. Like my hunger hormones just got out of whack and they don't function properly. And I get these attacks not after eating carbohydrates and a bunch of sugars and starches. I get it if I don't eat, or if I'm not hydrated, or if I eat too little. Because, I was eating a breakfast of a turkey burger and zucchini and raspberries. And then I would still get these hunger attacks. And that's why I just feel like there's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to turn. I am eating healthy. I am eating protein. I do realize at this point that I was under eating fat. I didn't know that. But carnivores taught me a lot in just a very short time. Anyway, these extreme hunger attacks were getting worse and worse and worse, and more frequent, lasting longer and longer. And I really felt like I just wasn't able to control them anymore. In the past, I was able to manage them by managing my nutrition and my meal timing and, hydration, and just paying attention to all of that stuff. And this fall, it just got out of hand and I wasn't in control anymore. So I spent a lot of time researching where to go from here. And yes, I did go see my doctor, got a bunch of lab tests, everything came back normal, nothing serious at hand. So, gosh, just digging around, not knowing what to do, thinking back to, again, a little history here. So, if you don't know my story, basically, I've struggled with this reactive hypoglycemia and polyphagia for a long time. And because of that, I was recommended to go on a weight loss medication. And I was a little overweight, sure, but the reason I went on the weight loss medication is because of these issues. Well, did I lose weight? Oh, heck no. No, I had the opposite reaction. I had rapid weight gain. I had this drastic weight gain of 30 pounds in, say, 6 weeks. And just hunger, like unimaginable, like you would not believe, extreme hunger every day that could only be filled by eating a heavy lumberjack heavy carbohydrate meal. So then I lost the weight, and I lost it using intermittent fasting and paleo, which paleo is great. It's meats, fruits, vegetables. It's, you know, so fast forward here to this fall where all of a sudden I have lost the weight. I was happy with where I was at, and I was starting to add back in more carbohydrates, more meals, not intermittent fasting, just, more meals, more snacks. And then this polyphagia came back with a vengeance. It was just impossible. And I remembered back to this period of losing the weight with intermittent fasting, and I never had a hunger attack. I mean, I was hungry. I was under eating way too few, I don't even believe in calories, but not enough nutrition, not enough calories. That's how I lost all the weight, was this intermittent fasting, healthy food, and under nutrition. I was weighing my food. I mean, it worked, but when I tried to come off of it, it just wasn't great. So anyway, remembering that I didn't have any polyphagia attacks while I was on the intermittent fasting protocol, I decided to, there's a way to initiate fat adaptation in preparation for an extreme diet, which would be, I don't think it's all that extreme. It's eating healthy food, and it's intermittent fasting, which is all the rage. But it is, it triggers, you just eat a whole bunch of fat. You eat a whole bunch of fat for 2 days. And I think the idea is maybe not to get you into ketosis, but just to start burning fat, that instead of burning sugar all the time, you can tap into those fat stores and start burning fat. And you do it really rapidly over 2 days, and then you start this fasting. I've done that before. It's promoted by Dr. Simeons, if you're familiar with the HCG weight loss program, where you inject hormones, pregnancy hormones, into your body to fool your body into thinking that you're pregnant. And anyway, that's the protocol there, is that you do this. It's not carbo loading, it's fat loading. You do fat loading for 2 days. And so I was just so desperate to fix this extreme hunger issue that I was considering going back on this fasting protocol. But thinking, this really is probably not the right move for me, because one of my issues is under eating, under nutrition, setting off these attacks. And so I was really leery and really, really, really looking and searching for answers, and doing all the research that I could on reactive hypoglycemia, insulin resistance. How do you deal with these problems? Metabolic dysfunction, how do you fix these problems? And that's when I came across the carnivore diet. And I looked into that, learned as much as I could about starting that, and literally it was 2 or 3 days of just doing all the research that I could, immersing myself in that. And I just decided, I'm going to do carnivore. I don't know what else to do. I'm at a dead end. I don't know what else to do. So I jumped in. So I did these 2 days of kind of fat loading. And instead of starting fasting and intermittent fasting and weighing my food and this, really restrictive weight loss protocol again, I decided to do carnivore instead. So here we are. So you know what? I did the best I could in the first 10 days of carnivore. I had food in my fridge, preparing for this paleo program. It's super healthy. It's fruits, vegetables, and meat. But it's lean meats. It's not heavy, fatty meats. So that's what I had on hand. And of course, I was still dealing with these hunger attacks. And so I had to get through, how many days? 2, 3, 4, 5 days? How many days is this going to take to stabilize? So let's get into it. I actually track my food all the time. I just have this little journal. And I write down what I eat. I don't track calories or fat grams or carb grams or the time I eat, or it's just literally, I just write down what I eat, like a turkey burger and egg or whatever. And I wasn't planning on doing a video or putting this on YouTube or talking to anyone else about it. I just was trying to stabilize this crazy situation for my own health. And so I don't have a lot of pictures of what I was eating that first week either, or certainly no videos. I just was not planning on doing this, but here we are. So the reason I'm sharing this is just because if there's anybody else out there who is struggling with this kind of metabolic dysfunction and doesn't know where to turn and doesn't know what to do, I just want to share my experience and let's find out if this is helping me or not. All right, so the first day, I had chicken thighs and some broth. You know what? This was right after the holidays. I started December 4th, and so this is right after Thanksgiving, and we had, I had made bone broth from the turkey. So I had some bone broth and I had chicken thighs and I ate them with the skin on, and I probably had 3 of them, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't write that down. That's not the point. I just, okay. So lunch, I had a pork chop and I had some cheese and I had bacon. So this carnivore diet's looking pretty good so far, right? For dinner, I had a chicken breast and I was feeling a little bit edgy, you know. I mean, it's a big leap to go from this big kind of carb heavy, snacky, what I had been doing. Anyway, so on the first day, which was a Monday, it was a work day, but I had for dinner chicken breast and blackberries. The blackberries were in the fridge. They were fresh. They looked delicious. And that little hit of sugar, it really treated me well because it kind of took the edge off. And from what I've read or seen, it's fine. You don't have to jump into carnivore 100%. This is not like fasting, eating windows, you know, fasting 16 hours a day and eating 8 hours a day. And you have to be perfect in order to trigger your hormones to do what it is you're asking them to do. No. Carnivore is a lifestyle, and it takes a little bit of time to adapt into it. It takes time for your body to adapt. It takes time for your hormones to heal. And you don't have to be 100%, especially in the beginning. Just give yourself grace and listen to your body. See how you're feeling and honor that. So I did, and I feel fine. And there's no guilt, there's no shame, there's no pressure. I wanted to feed my body well and try to stop these attacks that were happening. So, okay, day 2. I had a chicken breast. I had the bone broth again and some cheese for breakfast. And then for lunch, I had pork loin, bacon, more blackberries, coffee. I had a hunger attack, reactive hypoglycemia. I don't know. And I just wasn't full after lunch. So then I had some salmon and bacon. And yeah, I had some spices. I'm sure, a true carnivore, it's meat, salt, and water. But no, I'm just dipping my toe here. And spices, flavoring, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. That's my favorite way to cook. It's fine. Anyway, so that extra bit of fat with the salmon and the bacon, I had another cup of coffee with cream in it, and it did tamp down my reactive hypoglycemia, thankfully. And then for dinner, I had chicken and bacon. Okay, day 3, I had a chicken burger, which is just ground burger, ground chicken, and more broth, bone broth, yum. I had a pork loin and bacon. I had truffle mousse. That's a high-fat, kind of meaty thing, truffle mousse. And I had eggs. And then for dinner, I had lamb. Oh, you know what? Now it makes sense to me how I kept my journal here. Yeah, day 2, actually, when I said I had chicken and bacon, that was in the middle of the night. That was a midnight snack, right? Because I was hungry and couldn't sleep. So day 3, same thing. Hungry, couldn't sleep, and in the middle of the night I had eggs and a chicken burger. But this, like I said, I am not fasting. I am not doing eating windows. I don't care if I'm in ketosis. I need to heal whatever this is. Insulin resistance, metabolic dysfunction, I don't know. But I'm on a mission. So let's keep going. All right, day 4, I had for breakfast chicken thigh, more bone broth, lamb, like ground lamb. For lunch, I had turkey soup. Probably I was really busy either running around or working that day. I don't know, but turkey soup did not do it for me. And I had another attack of reactive hypoglycemia or polyphagia or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's extreme hunger. But I can tell you that the extreme hunger was not as extreme. It was more annoying and less alarming. So this is good. I feel like this is progress. I feel like these meals, they're heavy and they're fatty and they do fill me up. And I'm okay after I eat. And it's just kind of, we're trying to go longer between meals. A nice fatty, meaty meal should sustain you for a while. And that's what I'm working on here. So for dinner, I had a pork loin and some brie cheese, and I had a hot sauce because you know what? I'm not a huge hot sauce fan. I never have been, but it just felt like, let's flavor this up. And it's really, 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 it's a good hot sauce where there's no sugar in it, no fillers, anything like that. So I think it was a good move. If it keeps you on track right in the beginning while you're figuring this out, go for it. So, okay, day 5. The turkey burgers, they were just in the freezer. They're kind of lean. I know we're supposed to eat fatty meat on carnivore, but I just was cleaning out the fridge and the freezer from after the holidays. And this is what I had on hand. I hadn't had a lot of time to go shop and stock up. So turkey burgers, eggs, and cooked in bacon fat. So that was okay. For lunch, I had chicken thighs with hot sauce and bacon. And gosh, that day, I had bad reactive hypoglycemia, extreme hunger attack. And it was so bad. It's like, I can't do this. I can't just live on meat and fat. I had to get carbohydrates to stop that attack. Like literally, carbs are the problem and carbs are the solution. That's how you turn off the attack. That's how I turn off the attack. So I walked over to our little market in the neighborhood. We have a neighborhood store. And I got a package of coconut macaroons, which was, it was the best I could do. It's gluten-free, it's coconut. Yeah, there's sugar, yeah, there's carbs, a little chocolate drizzle, yum, yum, yum. I ate 7 of these. And guess what? I still have 1 left. I ate 7 because I needed to eat 7. This is not binge eating. This is not cravings. This is not a sugar craving. If this was sugar cravings, this one would not be left. I would have eaten it. I am having these extreme hunger attacks that can only be cured by eating carbohydrates. And this is the answer. And I ate these until that extreme hunger feeling went away. And then I stopped because I don't want to eat a bunch of carbs and sugars and starches. Okay. I still have it. And that's kind of my memento of my first week on carnivore is this is a reminder of how bad I was feeling and how I was really at a dead end at the end of the line where what I was doing wasn't working for me and I had to make this switch. And carnivore sounds like a pretty extreme switch before you start it, but after you start it, it starts to feel like, wow, this is the right decision. This feels good. Why didn't I think of this before? Maybe this is the answer for me, and maybe I am headed in the right direction here. So we got that handled, and that was the end of that. Okay. I wasn't even hungry for dinner. I had a little bit of dinner, a little pork with hot sauce on it, and slept through the night. So we handled it. Okay. So then on to the weekend, I had some ground pork with eggs for breakfast. Later on, I don't know if this was lunch, brunch, dinner, I don't know. I only had 2 meals because that's all I needed. So that's kind of a breakthrough. I had in the morning that ground pork with eggs, and then I had a really, really nice ribeye with some pork loin, some smoked salmon, and some goat cheese. And that meal filled me up. That must have been an early dinner. And I did fine, and I would have taken a picture of that ribeye. It was so good. My husband went and bought the nicest, best, most expensive ribeye that he could find. And I would have taken a picture of it, but here's what happened. When I went to cook the steak, I cut it in half. Because isn't that what you've always done your whole life? Meat is expensive, and you want to ration it out and portion it out. And I only cooked half the steak. So I never took a picture of it. So I did have the second half, the next night. But dang it, I wish I had just cooked the whole thing and took a nice picture. It was such a good, juicy steak. And also now I'm starting to think, after I've been on this 10 days, I'm starting to think, you know what, I know, why not sit down and eat a whole big ribeye? But at this point, it's okay. I had half a ribeye and then I had some other meat that was less expensive. And it kind of helped to, the ribeye will bring up the fat ratio. And it worked out. It's okay. So then on Sunday, this was day 7, Sunday to Sunday. Monday to Sunday, that's right. So bacon and eggs, ground chicken. Oh, I went to a party that day. Who goes to a party when they're on carnivore? I went to a friend's party. I had a really nice time. And what I brought as a treat, contribution, would be seltzer water and with pomegranate seeds. And I did have the pomegranate seeds because it was just a nice hit of vitamin C and a good little juicy morsels. They were so good. But now, looking back, I'm thinking, when you eat pomegranate seeds, you're actually eating the seed. And yeah, the seeds have lectins and all these things that are bad for you, which is that's another video. All right, let's go on. Sunday, day 7, more ribeye for dinner, more pork loin, and smoked salmon and goat cheese. So that's pretty nice. Okay, day 8. Day 8 was fine. 3 meals. I mean, it's a work day, back to work. So I don't know. I noticed a pattern where I am able to eat 2 meals sometimes on the weekends, but I sure don't want to trigger any hunger attacks. So if I'm hungry, the least bit hungry, I eat. It's fine. Okay, so Monday, day 8, I had a chicken burger, bacon and eggs. I was still hungry, so I had more bacon and eggs on my break. For lunch, I had pork and eggs. For dinner, I had salmon, bacon, and butter. And I think maybe this is where I learned about butter. I don't know. I learn more and more every day. As I have time, I'm watching more videos, listening to more people, more testimonials, and more doctors. So the butter is a big part, I think, especially when you're starting. You want to, just bathe yourself in butter. You need to get a good start on carnivore, eat the butter. Okay, so I think I was really missing that my first few days, not knowing that I should do that. Okay, now I did eat in the night. I was hungry and I had turkey burgers and eggs. So next day, not hungry in the morning. I just had coffee in the morning because, when you're up half the night and you eat in the middle of the night, why would you be hungry for breakfast? For lunch, I had chicken thighs, ground chicken, bacon fat, bone broth, and coffee with cream. So, this business of time-restricted eating, it just seems like, I don't know. Then I'm really hungry for lunch and eat a lot at lunch. I'm just going to let this all sort itself out. And right now, at this point, I'm listening to my body. I'm feeding my body if I'm hungry, and I'm not worrying about it. So dinner, turkey soup, which, okay, that's pretty low fat, but I did have all the pan drippings in there. It was homemade. It was the leftover turkey from Thanksgiving. So I had turkey soup, and I had chuck roast, and I had Parmesan cheese. Interesting combo, but okay, that's what we had. Day 10, turkey burgers and eggs for breakfast. I had for lunch a steak with some red hot sauce, and I had goat cheese. And dinner, I had more turkey soup, a turkey burger, and cheese, trying to get the fat up a little bit there. And then just as a bonus here, day 11, eggs and cheese for breakfast, ground pork with cheese and eggs, and dinner was steak and salmon, a little surf and turf. That was pretty good. So overall, looking at this, the first 10 days on carnivore, I would say, yeah, this is helping me. My extreme hunger attacks are getting less and less frequent, and less strong. Like I said, they're less alarming and they're more just annoying. And they're not happening as often, and they're not lasting as long, and they're not as hard to break. So I have to say, first 10 days on carnivore is a success. Yes, it's hard to do. It's hard to, your kitchen's not set up for it. Your fridge is not set up for it. Your grocery shopping is not set up for it. you know, I mean, I know how to cook a steak, but I don't cook steak every night. This is, it's a learning curve for sure. I kind of just ate what I had on hand and tried to make the best of it. I don't normally eat a lot of cheese. I really try to avoid dairy except for cream in my coffee. That is the one big thing. But it was the holidays. We had a lot of cheese on hand. And I knew I needed extra fat. You know, the most I ever cook at one time would be 1 egg or 2 eggs. I've at this point was not cooking 3 or 4 eggs. Like you will see some carnivores eat 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 eggs. Like, no, I'm just kind of starting out here, and my old habits are ingrained really strongly, and it's that carnivore diet. It's an adjustment, and you know, I would say to anyone else just starting it is just listen to your body. You want to gradually make this transition. You don't want to eat too much fat too quickly. That has its own side effects. And ultimately, the goal is to be eating fatty, heavy meats, butters, and to be full on that. But your body's not going to make that switch overnight. So listen to yourself, see how you feel, give it a go, but give it a real try, and give it some time. Because I can tell you, so far, the longer that I'm doing this, pretty much the better I feel. And okay, we're going to keep going. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.